epistemology and ontology, which doesn't really make sense to normal people. Yeah, so, simplified, you can actually summarize it as what do we actually know, what works and what doesn't work, and then there's this notion of scholarship. And I hope that you arrive there, and I hope you will stay there as well. Scholarship is the simple meaning of that you reflect and write about what you're doing, that you stay in contact with your community of project managers. It doesn't really mean that you write books and everything, but it means you keep basically in contact with maybe other project managers, maybe with your classmates here, and share what works and what doesn't work. It's an idea of a community of practice. Okay, so let's go through it. It's education, not training. And that means as well, at an MSc level, that we expect you to be interested in the area where you want to work in. We challenge the concepts that I introduce on that basis. So I expect you to work with me, to work through the concepts, to see what works, what doesn't work. If everything works, then I would be terrified, I have to admit. It's knowledge, not information. So a lot, this is two sides to knowledge. One that I want to point out here is it worked for somebody, it doesn't necessarily work for everybody. It's a very terrifying observation. But it means as well, knowledge means as well, it did work, yeah? And that is a good start. So, and information is of course behind it as well. It's not just information, it should be a little bit away. We have a look, it's a lot case study based, my lectures and seminars, you will see that. I work with simulations, be terrified for the seminars coming. There will be some simulation involved. We will run a proper project in the session. This is basically what I try to do. So it will be practical, and it has a normative flavor. But it's alert to, and a normative means we look at what people actually do. This is a pointing notion of the social construct that I kind of emphasized at the beginning. But as a university and as a master in science, we will be sensitive, of course, to the context and to the social technical challenges that come with it. So to be aware and equipped and know which tools will work for us. Okay, so let's go up front and let's define, well, first of all, look at what is project management's best practice. Is there such a thing? We read a lot this terminology, best practice. I prefer to think of it as good practice, but this is the literature. So we have definitions, we have control, resourcing, performing, and learning. Those are the big themes, if you want. So in the definitions, we have really threefold. Aligning the project strategy with sponsors, including periodic reviews. So making sure that you're on the right line with your project. Then defining requirements in a testable manner. This is quite important. We want to arrive at the notion where we can actually test and adapt to deliver successful projects. So that specifications and solutions can be verified against them. And then managing design and technology so that innovation are thoroughly examined before proceeding to full project commitment. Well, when we look at space travel, you will understand the thoroughly examined before. Now that is an important notion here. The new technology is exciting, but combining them randomly is quite dangerous. So then we have the control aspect. Here we have defining and managing the project scope, schedule, resource, and budget, ensuring optimal financing, including limiting changes once the design has been agreed, so-called design freeze. There are other notions like drawing the bottom line and agreed stage approaches, so we will have a little bit of a look at that. Then integrating cost, schedule, scope measurement, and conducting trend analysis on anticipated outturn costs. So this is like kind of our control elements on the most basic descriptive level. And then we come, of course, to the resourcing. Here we're looking at procuring, inducting resources into the project in as positive, cost-effective, and value-enhancing manner as possible. And then, of course, building effective project teams. Very underrated, the soft side of project management, but probably the most important one if you really look at project success and failure. And then exercising leadership. I have to say that this is more emphasized in probably Anglo-Saxon literature, the exercising leadership. In Europe, we have an alternative. We have empowerment, which is a little bit a different notion. Has a little bit to do as well with how well your team is equipped to self-organize, and if that is even desirable. But we will have a look at that too. And then we have the performing, ensuring effective decision-making and efficient communication. And that is kind of like if you have strung your project optimally, which is a challenge in itself, then those should be really the driving forces. But as we know, this is not always that optimal. And then last but not least, learning or associated notions with, and this goes, of course, the learning goes on throughout the life cycle, but it's reviewing lessons learned after and during the project and feeding other knowledge into a project through formal peer review sessions. So, and this is like best practice from 2009, and we met in a small, actually it wasn't small, it was in Wolverhampton University. There was a group of kind of university researchers meeting with like leaders from industry. I say leaders because who has decided that they are the leaders, but okay, we met there anyway, and they perceived those kind of topics as like best practice. Now, are you happy with this? Have we forgotten anything that is essential? It sounds initially good. It's like kind of the big topics are there. It may need a little bit stretching and adapting, no doubt. But have we missed like one big one? Yeah, we could fight around that a little bit. We had actually quite heated debates about this. So there is, of course, a problem. First of all, this is very generic. This is agreed. You have to keep in mind, this is like 100 people kind of agreeing on a common dominator where they're happy to go out. So clearly it's not like the optimal solution to one project. And the notion here being like, at what point? Is it too generalized? And that is always what I get really concerned about when I see standardized project management frameworks. If they are written in stone, then this becomes a very dangerous game. It may work for certain projects, but if you don't understand what are the loose bits or the things that need like a particular attention and may need refining to your project, then you are in trouble. And I've seen that. Projects where the methodology was wonderfully applied, ignoring all the facts around them, and sadly the project was quite the failure. I mean, ironically, sorry, to that notion, you can even be successful with your project to your framework, and it's perceived outside as a failure, and internally as a success. We come to that next week, but I've seen that a few times, where the project team felt like it really achieved what we wanted, but the client really didn't want it, and there were a lot of other people unhappy too. So the important notions to take from that is our knowledge of reality is incomplete, which means we have to have a tool set to be ready for this. The nature of our knowledge in different areas of PM varies, and this is what we can build on, where we can kind of challenge the tools and the techniques that we are going through to really understand what works, what doesn't. And it's very hard to have predictive, substantive rules. These are process, so it's a notion, when you're in the project, there's still this challenge. You don't have yet the full understanding of how the project pans out. So studying it afterwards, you have to be kind and realize that the project managers on the line were on the line. So they didn't have this luxury of having the future view. If you have like glasses where you can look in the future. That would be another invention that would help. So in a nutshell, we need to tailor basically the different tools, understand when we can apply them, when they help, when they actually maybe even distract or intimidate. We have a lot of powerful tools in the project managers where we are perceived to monitor and control and maybe even interfere with people's perceived freedom. And this is important to recognize. And then we can adapt it to our industry sector, to the company, to your business unit, to the project, or to your entrepreneurial undertaking. Yeah. Okay. I've now talked for 40 minutes. Shall we have a 10 minutes break? And then we start again. Any questions at that point? Okay, we leave it at that point. Back in 10 minutes.
Sorry.
Oh, this is good too. You know.